Broadcasting from the Plus One Heating and Air Studio. You're listening to Live 95, Coleman's Independent Radio. WRJM-LP at the Muscle Shoals game, and then talk a little bit about Brewer tomorrow night. And then I'm going to give you guys a chance to reflect on where we are in the season. It's hard to believe you wait all summer long for the season to get here, and then you blink your eyes, and you're halfway through the season. So, Coach, we'll start with you talking last week a little bit about Muscle Shoals. We knew we had to play a perfect game, and we had to force them to make some mistakes, and it just wasn't in the cards.
It was not. And anyone's there watching Malk in the stadium, you recognize real quick that's one of the most, elite personnels probably in the region. I said probably in North Alabama. It was going to require, like you said, our absolute best. I thought our guys, competed, but we just couldn't move. Number 8, their defensive end, number 6, the other defensive end. Those two guys are as active of high school defensive end probably, since the Parker game of last year. And so we just had to, what we do well on offense is run the ball and set up some passes based on the running game. And so when you don't get the movement you need, it's hard to, get things going. So then you turn to one-dimensional, and then defensively just, we knew how talented their quarterback and receivers and running backs were, and they did a really good job scouting us, and they spread the field. They were doing RPOs. They had not shown the run-pass option stuff as much in the scouting report, and so they put us in space one-on-one with some athletes that made moves, and we just, some explosive plays lead to touchdowns. And so the score, certainly is higher than we wanted. I did think, again, the mark of a Coleman football team, we played hard and fought, but execution has to be better. And so we understand the lessons we learned from it and ready to, take those and move on to the back half of the season.
How has practice been this week, attitude-wise and effort-wise and stuff this week?
Yeah, people continue to ask about that because, here's these teenage boys, and they, like as you said, they worked hard in the off-season and summer and fall camp, and then you get to the year and the record's just not showing, the tangible markers of that. But I just continue to be impressed by our energy at practice. Our coaches just, certainly you can tell, where we are in the season. The school last week was homecoming week, so even this week you could tell the student body was a little deflated, and so they are not always aware of what all it takes. No matter who you think you're playing on a Friday night, it takes a ton of a body of work to turn the ship around and to keep working towards the new game plan. So I think we've had a pretty good practice week in terms of our energy, and I keep telling the guys, fall is coming. It's not here yet though. And we actually, unfortunately, lost some time due to weather. We had those soupy days came in. We had some lightning in the area, so we've had to make some adjustments. But I thought our guys handled the adjustments well. We had to do some extra today. We kind of ran here right at the clock just because of some extra stuff we need to get done. We're never going to cut the work short on Thursday if we're not ready. So we have some special teams to get to, and that can kind of slow Thursday's tempo down, and that can cause some other effects. So, we're ready to get on the bus and go play a game and get the taste out of our mouth.
Yeah, we talked about it last week or so, and it's been talked about around town this week. Three games and 5 points. We know one thing can happen here or there. The cards could be different as they are now, but the one good thing that we've seen is something you just talked about. The effort and the heart is the same from the opening whistle to the ending whistle. And that's something I know that you're proud of.
I am, and that's why these two guys are here. They're both guys that are living embodies of that. Tyler is his senior year. And he's, he'll talk more about it. He's playing through a hurt ankle because of how much he cares about this program. And Weston, everyone asks about Weston. Yeah. I thought it was time to get, Weston heard from just the way he's run the ball, inspired. And again, you take clips, you come to our meetings, you come to our practice. You don't know our record. And that's one of the best things that I can say about these young people is that the resiliency they have shown in adversity, believe in the process. And then we're right to that point where I think we're at the tip of the iceberg where they're going to see, some things on the scoreboard show up due to their perseverance through the first 5 games of adversity. It doesn't really matter how you get to the end record. Just, at the end of the year, we'll look back and see where we are. It doesn't matter if you lose your first 5, win your last 5, you're 5-5. So that you can. Each team takes its own route to its final record, and we believe we're doing things above what our record says we are. And so now it's time to against some teams that we feel like we match up well to see these guys have like the success they've been working hard to have.
Tyler, 37 years ago, I was in your position to where I'm halfway through the season going, wow, where has it gone? How did we get here so fast? Talk about the summer and leading up to where we are at this point in your senior season as a Bearcat. Just reflect back.
Yes, sir. It's throughout the summer we were just Coach Walker came in not really knowing what to expect or anything like that, but obviously all the seniors saw what his vision was for us and everybody else on the team. So, just buying into what he has in for us, it's really just seeing what, like he's laid out. And obviously we've taken that to heart, and we're just trying to put it out on the field,
Yeah. Got to commend you for your effort early on. You're injured your senior season. That could have crushed you, but you've battled through that and worked your way back. Talk a little bit about that process.
Yes, sir. I could have, sat on the sideline and, said, could have, I don't know. But
yeah,
it's just, I like to be out there for my guys, and I enjoy playing with them. And I'm pretty sure they enjoy playing with me. So
yeah,
I think that I just wanted to be out there for them.
One thing that gets lost kind of because, when you're watching kickoff return and go, you're watching the guy with the ball carrier. I mean, you may see some blocks, but if you go back and watch that return against Athens, and he's kind of gimping along, but he gets out in front of Colby Holt and throws a block on a punter, on the kicker. Not only make the block, but there's a lot of guys in that situation who block in such a way as a hold. Mm-hmm. Where they cheap shot the kicker because it's a kicker, and so this great display of teamwork of blocking and getting this touchdown comes back all too often times, and so Tyler's out there in front throwing a block, and that, to me that kind of embodied what he's persevered through to put us in a spot where we are.
Weston Kill, a big part of our offense on the ground, especially this year, has been you, young man. I think pound for pound, Coach, he may be the toughest man on the team, pound for pound.
That's a very good argument. Everybody, these opposing coaches, Coach number 2, how much does he weigh? He runs. Everybody asks about his weight. It's kind of funny. We've talked about that a few times.
Yeah, I think he gives up in some cases. Or at least last week, I know for sure, probably gave up 100 pounds to some of those defensive guys. But Weston, just your same question to you, sir. Just reflect back on the season to where you coming in. I don't know if you expected to be running back number 1 coming into the season. Reflect back on that and the game so far.
I mean, I had a good mindset, preseason. Coach Walker's all on me about gaining weight and stuff, and how if I don't gain enough weight, I'm not going to be able to survive the 6'8" running back. But I still try my best in 8 and stuff, and every play, despite my size or anything, I give it all. And despite my performance, I wouldn't be able to do any of it without my O-line. They're fighting every play and stuff. And about the season, our record is nothing compared to like what we put out on the field for sure. And I think we're going to go out and make a statement tomorrow against Brewer and have a very dominant performance.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the feeling and your vision when you're a lot of the running plays were up the middle or off tackle or so forth. Talk about your vision and your process of scoping the field for your linemen and what it's like when you finally see that opening and see green grass ahead of you.
I mean, just film throughout the week, seeing how their defensive lines and scout team and stuff. Look at the pre-snap alignment. And then after I get the ball, it's all natural, I don't really know how to explain it. It kind of just all falls into place perfectly, and I read my blocks and I trust my bigs, and then I put one foot in the ground and stick and go and just get vertical. And after that, it's kind of like my body just does it for me. It's a very natural and great gift from God that not everyone has, so that's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
How much weight have you gained?
Freshman year, I was 129. Sophomore year, I was 140. This year, right now, I'm sitting at 156, but my peak is 161.
Yeah. What were you when I got here?
148, I think. 148.
So he's a guy that, like you said, he's achieving more per his body weight. I remember in the spring, and he's kind of talking about an ankle. His ankle was kind of bothering him, and I was like, oh goodness. How delicate we might be at running back this year, and so that was the push of, hey, you got to gain weight because I know what kind of defenders we're going to play, the body blows he's going to take, both on big runs and short runs, and pushed him, and like I said, he worked as hard as he could work, and he's got high metabolism, but even summer, he wasn't catching the ball well in the backfield. There's just there's these markers that we were just trying to figure out. We know he can be good. When's it going to click? Boy, it's clicked this year.
Yeah,
and so I think what the biggest attribute to him is his coachability. There's been things I don't think he just quoted. He listens to me more than sometimes I think he does. Even saying bigs is something we say. Hug your bigs. And so I think his vision and patience is the most impressive thing, because when we first started putting in what's called, and I talked about it in the coaches clips, when you put in wide zone or outside zone, you've got a guy who's fast like him. All of youth football and middle school football, they've been able to outrun everybody to the perimeter. They've outflanked and just turned the corner and gone. And then you get to 6A football, and that play is not intended to be a sweep. It's intended to show horizontal movement to get the defense to either not pursue enough or over pursue and then find that crease. And what he's done there over the course of 5 games to make that our feature play, his skill set has it, but I wasn't sure his patience and vision would get there as fast as it did, and he has taken it and ran with it. He has, so much potential in that play, but the offensive line, he's right. I mean, they have created a lot of movement inside these plays, but his patience behind the bigs, they pull a bit pulling, we call it gap scheme, where linemen are pulling. I mean, Coach Hopper, tell a quick story. Coach Hopper's an inside drill this week, watching from the defensive perspective, and he's like, I'm going to watch this a lot closer. Not because we were kind of giving them the Brewer look. And so he's watching, and he's like, now I know why nobody can tackle him. When that ball is ran, those linemen come off the ball, he hides.
Yeah.
He knows where he is and what he's trying to do, but from a linebacker standpoint, he gets behind those double teams, and you can't see him, and all of a sudden, not only does he pop out, but he pops out now being vertical, like he said.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Those become arm tackles, and that's what you see missed, and then it's on the next level. And usually what happens is the secondary guy's out of position because he's not expecting to get through that quick. So it's just all these things that he's developed inside his game to give us a very potent running game. And we needed it, with Colt being a sophomore. I don't care how good or mature a young sophomore is. Like, it's just a process. It just is. The game is fast. He's managing signals from the sideline, breaking the huddle, making checks at the line, recognizing pressure, no pressure. There's so much happening in 40 seconds for him. You need to have that run game where you can hand that ball to someone like Weston behind the offensive line. Not to forget, I know he's first want to give his teammates credit, Brooks Lofton and Morgan Hawley. The job they've done is those tight end sniffer wings to give us some push. It's just been really fun to watch our offense evolve there in the run game behind him. And he ran inspired against Jasper. And there was just a different level of energy in every step and every cut. He wanted to score every single time he had the ball, which is exciting to watch.
Yep. Guys, when we come back, I'm going to get you to reflect on your favorite moment of the season so far and probably your least favorite moment of the season so far. We're in the Bearcat Den. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Trent Walker, Tyler Brock, and Weston Keel. Back in a moment.
In 1952, 7 men at an aluminum plant banded together and started Lister Hill Credit Union with only $5 each. Today, more than 92,000 have joined us, continuing the legacy of supporting themselves and the community through Lister Hill. It's all about we and what we can do together.
Are you looking for a reliable ride at the lowest prices in town with financing? PNC Auto has you covered. Finance options for all credit types, good, bad, or ugly. Plus, a free vehicle report is available for each listing. You can get pre-qualified today online at mypcauto.com. And they offer a free 90-day powertrain warranty or free maintenance for a year. No, we're not kidding. Chad Johnson and Paul Carpenter are ready to help you drive away happy today. Chad is available at 256-493-2491, or Paul can be reached at 256-339-9932. PNC Auto on Highway 278 just past the Methodist Church, or online at mypcauto.com.
You know, we have one of the coolest places right here in Coleman. It's Cleaning and More Coleman on County Road 437. Cleaning and More Coleman has reliable and professional residential and commercial cleaning services tailored to your needs. And I know because we use Cleaning and More Coleman at the Warhurst Team Realtors for our buyers and sellers. Cleaning and More Coleman is more than just cleaning supplies. They have janitorial supplies like trash can liners of all sizes, cleaning supplies, mops, brooms, paper towels, they have it all. Plus concession stand and restaurant supplies like cups, cutleries, plates, to-go containers, bags, straws, nacho trays, even popcorn bags. Cleaning and More Coleman has it all. Need climate control storage? How about 10 by 10, 10 by 15, and 10 by 20 units? And they even have the U-Haul trucks to carry your stuff. You can check them out at cleaningandmorecoleman.com. You can get info at info@cleaningandmorecoleman.com, or the way I like, you can dial them up at 256-736-9944. 256-736-9944. Cleaning and More Coleman, County Road 437, under the big white sign with the U-Hauls.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live here on Coleman's Live 95. I'm Tommy Warhurst, alongside Coleman head coach Trent Walker. We've got Tyler Brock and Weston Kill in the house today for the Bearcat Den. And gentlemen, before the break, I told you we'd come back and get you to reflect back on your favorite moments. T. Brock, we'll start with you, sir.
Probably my favorite moment would be on spaghetti night. I think it was before Jasper. We did Guess the Song, and I played like 6, and nobody knew the songs. Like, ruined the whole game night.
He stumped everybody. I know he has an affinity for music, and so every Thursday after practice we have what we call team supper. It's no phones, just true fellowship with each other, and I try to have some type of game or something for us to interact with. And I know, like I said, he loves music, so I was like, he'll be a good DJ.
Yeah,
he'll pick songs that these guys he'll give his grades softballs. You know, I mean, the easy ones to get, and then these other grades hard ones. But he stumped everybody.
It was still known songs. Like
I know a few of them, and I was kind of. But it's different. The pressure when the whole 78 guys are looking at you to name the song.
Yeah,
it's a different deal than sitting in the car. You know what I mean? So that you saw some guys kind of clam up under pressure, name that tune. So
yeah. Weston, same question to you, sir. Favorite moment so far this season?
My favorite moment was actually probably the first week when we did trivia, which was led by Tyler, of course. And it was literally just like Family Feud, and what made it so like fun and funny, like all of the questions were about the coaches and stuff, and just like inside jokes about our friends. And then it was just like, it was a really good team bonding moment, and then we all like, it was kind of like, a family, like Coach Walker wants us to be, and it was just so funny in the moment, and that's when I knew that, like, we were really building something good, because not, like, last year, it was all, like, lazy, and, like, most people hated each other on the team. It was not a good environment, but we've, like, had very good connections and stuff throughout everybody.
See, that live radio, I didn't know they doing Family Feud about the coaches. That's the first I've heard that we were part of the trivia night. No, but that's, we're doing things, and that's what I keep telling people. And so many times, there's joy in our building. There's these 4 relationships. Sparky Woods at VMI taught me, and our staff, you got to have players, got to love players. Coaches have to love coaches. Then you have to start. That's the first kind of bridge. You have to have staff that enjoys being together and players enjoy being together. But then you've got to take the next 2 steps. Is that coaches have to love their players and players have to love their coaches. And once you get those 4 relationships, it kind of forms like a circle, and that circle starts to breathe itself out into the Friday nights. And I think that's again what everybody's seeing is the manifestation of relationships and investment in each other. That they're playing for each other. They're playing for something bigger than just themselves, and that's been. I don't have the contrast that everybody else has, but I know it's there. Like I'm watching them strain, at times. Not always enough for my standards and our standards as we grow, but certainly seeing a difference. And like I said, a senior playing through an injury, I've seen guys shut that down and say he's a baseball player. He's got a commitment to play at the next level for baseball. He could say, "No, I'm good. I'm going to take care of me," but he's not. He's out there giving his best for Coleman.
And not just battling through an injury, but playing a whole different position than he played last year.
Yeah, that's a great point. He's not only a guy that's playing through injury. He moved for us. Hey, we're not having consistency at this position. We think you could help us here, and we kind of have a guy who could maybe do somewhat what you do, but nobody can do what you can do down there. And so he's taken that and done that for us too. So just his brother. My first guy here, I kept wanting to call him his brother's name, and so I've worked really hard with these guys not to call them their brother's names, but they're both tough. It's two of the toughest players I've ever been around in my coaching career, and so just the selflessness to give from that way, it's just a testament to his parents and how they've raised him, and just the, I say also that Coleman baseball, he's getting that in both sides now, that brotherhood, that fellowship, and so appreciate having him part of our program.
We hit the road for our first 3 straight road games this week, Tyler. Thankfully, it's a short road trip just up Eva Road here to Brewer. Talk a little bit about the Patriots.
Patriots are pretty good this year. They got a lot of good skill players. Definitely better than usual, I'd have to say. They're pretty tough, but nothing we're not prepared for. So I'm ready. and everybody else is ready to go.
Weston, from an offensive standpoint, running back there, what do you see on defense that you're going to have to do well on offense tomorrow night?
Defense, we're definitely going to be able to have to throw the ball. They stack the ball stack the box very heavily, and we have outside zone, which we think will be very effective, and another form of duo that I think will work very well and efficiently. But we just got to be able to throw the ball, so maybe they can deload the box more, and we'll set up our run plays a lot better. And there's some tough county kids. It's not just going to be a walk in the park, but I think the standard and the plan, for sure, we should go in there and have a very dominant win.
The good thing about teams stacking the box, though, is you get through that line, there's a lot of green grass for you once you get behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm proud as a coach because, I don't always get to sit in their offense and defensive meetings, but I know what the coordinators have told me, the things they're talking to them about. So to hear them both almost verbatim regurgitate, I'm a proud coach because they're spot on with where their mind is heading into a ball game. That's one thing that I've always worried about, when being at Coleman in the past, is how much we spent learning our opponent. Like there's something very unique about game weeks. It shouldn't just be like fall camp. It should be like watch your assignment, like the guy you're going to cover, the guy you're going to have to miss a tackle, especially special teams. This is their left guard on punt team. Like you can really start to figure out strengths and weaknesses. And so these guys, we're expanding our football IQ and our willingness to study. I think sometimes coaches across the Southeast are guilty of turning their players loose to watch film because they have huddle now, so they just assume they know how to. Sometimes they don't know how to watch it, and so we work really hard to kind of condense down. They're still teenage boys; they still got math homework to do, science tests to study for. So we try to be efficient with the way we talk to them, but also get them very well prepared.
Yeah. From your perspective, Coach, what have you seen on film from Brewer, and what's it going to take for us to get our first win tomorrow night?
Yeah, these guys hit the nail on the head. When you turn on Brewer, I've played Brewer when I was a player. I played Brewer when I was at Orange County. I've seen Brewer in different phases, and I turn on the film. You have to get done with Muscle Shoals, and you're thinking there's going to be a big drop. And, of course, there is a drop, but just so much respect for the players they have. They're having a season where they're 1-4, and they're still playing hard, 1-3 maybe. They're playing hard. And so they got – he said the thing is they're going two ways. The thing that we have to take advantage of, some of those skilled players go both ways. They should be more fatigued than we are. But if we let them early on in the game have confidence – like they're a scrappy team. They've had an off week. They're going to be fresher than we are, from that rejuvenated standpoint. So we need to really start fast and kind of assert our dominance early on at the line of scrimmages. And three and outs early in the game are really hard for an offense. So if we can get them 3 and out a few times, like they're going to start kind of pressing. And I think they'll do things. The quarterback will chunk the ball downfield, which is a low efficiency pass, and get more 3 and outs that way as opposed to letting them get in a rhythm. But defensively, they're going to challenge us. They're going to get in a very heavy box, and if we can throw that route, we can really scalp them for an explosive play. But if you don't connect, now you're punting the ball back to their players. And so it's just, we think special teams. With our staff, the amount of staff and resources we have, we feel like we're ahead of them in the kicking game, both from a scheme standpoint and a personnel standpoint. So I'm hoping that can be a quick either score or something explosive in the game early on and kind of get the momentum going for Coleman.
Yeah. Tyler, real quick before we get out of here, a close road game, not a far trip up there. Give your plea to the folks of Coleman and your student body to come and pack these stands at Brewer there with a sea of black and gold.
Yes, sir. It's going to be it's not going to be an easy game, so we need everybody to come and show out. So.
Weston, to you, sir, what does it mean to you when you're breaking free and you hear your stands erupt? I know we want to hear that a lot tomorrow night.
It's just great, you break through the next level and then you're going and you just hear the crowd roar and everything, and just the student being there and the crowd is a huge, huge energy setter for our sideline and our team, and the more people we have, I think the better we really perform because it just motivates our whole team when it's packed out and it's loud and it's just an environment. The Friday night lights, and it's nothing. It's its own unique thing that you just not everyone experiences, and it's great. I'm
excited to see our crowd. Athens and Norman Jordan both well attended. nothing can be taken for granted. These seniors have worked for this night, so please come and support these seniors who've been the backbone of all we've done.
Yep. They deserve your support. It's a short drive up the road to Eva tomorrow night. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. You can hear it right here on Coleman's Live 95.5. Dylan Diebert and Nick McCarley will have the broadcast for you right here on Coleman's Live 95, and also available on Coleman's Live 95's Facebook page as well. We're going to try to get this show reloaded and have it on Facebook and Instagram later on tonight, too. So if you want to come back, if you've missed any of the Bearcat Den, you can catch that later on tonight. Thanks for listening to the Bearcat Den. For Coach Trent Walker, Tyler Brock, and Weston Keel, I'm Tommy Warhurst saying so long.
Go Bearcats.